Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Cobham Rugby Football Club. We're all the way down here in deepest, darkest Surrey for a match-up that whoever is playing is always one to salivate over. Harlequins versus Saracens, this time at under-18 level. We have the culmination of the last round in the Southern Conference of the Premiership Rugby Under-18 League until finals weekend next Sunday, and both these teams are looking for a little something. More on that a little bit later. The weather is set fair. We seem to have avoided any rain. We are down on a 4G pitch, which should be able to cope with everything that's being chucked at it, and the excitement certainly is building. A number of family and friends and people around the pitch, and they're all starting to look on with interest to this game, which I'm sure will be fascinating. Just before we came on air, we managed to catch up with the head coach from the Harlequins team, Gerard Mullen. Here's what he had to say ahead of this afternoon's encounter. Well, Gerard, we're down in Cobham, Harlequins under-18s versus Saracens under-18s, but it doesn't really matter. Women, men, young, old, whenever it's Harlequins versus Saracens, it's always a little bit special, isn't it?
No, it is, yeah. It's always a fiery contest. I've previously worked in the women's programme, so I can vouch for them, for that as well. So yeah, it'll be no different today. I think it'll be a great game, quite close. Obviously a big game for Saracens. They're still fighting for an opportunity to get into the final. But yeah, hopefully we can have something to say about that.
What's been the chat this week?
I think we've been very focused on ourselves, and just we've every game we've lost has only been by 2 points. I think it's about a total combined 7 points in the 3 games that we've lost. So yeah, just a couple of fine tunings. Very much on ourselves, trying to get our game out on the pitch today.
Last game of the campaign today. What's your overall view of how it's gone?
Yeah, I think I think naturally you get disappointed and frustrated off the back of not getting across the line. But we've seen some good growth and some lads really putting their hands up. As I said, look, every game we've lost has been by 3 points, 2 points, 2 points. So very close margins. And we could easily be on the other way, but we aren't, and we've learned from those lessons. But hopefully we can deliver our one of our best performances today.
Good luck today.
Thank you very much.
Well, good to hear from Gerard, and of course the experience he's bringing to the under-18 setup is invaluable. Alongside me, Will Roberts, Young Rugby, knows more about age group rugby in this country than perhaps anyone else, and I'm delighted to have him alongside us. Talk us through who you think is good and want to watch out for in the Harlequins under-18 side.
Well, I think today is going to be certainly a battle that's decided between the two spines of these two sides, and that will come in the forward pack with that number 8 Lucas Schmid. I mean, it's a very balanced back row. Daniel Matabalavu coming in for Pert Smith, who played last weekend, but Lucas Schmid has been absolutely on form throughout this 2023 set of fixtures, and he will line up against Barney Merrick for Saracens this afternoon. That'll be an enticing encounter, but also it's Josh Bellamy at 10, the one of the stars of the future for sure. He's always seems to have a trick up its sleeve. He's got got a good boot to him as well, with accolades in the Dave Allwood Kicking Cup trophy as well. So this is a player who will be able to spark the life into this Quins side, which we're always used to seeing in their senior squad.
Yeah, a lot to look forward to. They play some very exciting rugby, that blueprint from the senior side that goes all the way through. The Saracens team looks like this. Will, who are you picking out of this? You mentioned Merritt there, but anyone else?
Barney Merritt, I have to say, is a barnstorming player at 8. He's obviously taken the mantle a little bit off Nathan Michelot, both for school and club, both Sutton Valence and Saracens players alike, and he seems to have taken that torch and really run with it. But Junior Kapoku for me at 4, brother of John and Joel, so a well-known name within the Saracens ranks. He usually plays 8 for Finborough, but he is a massive frame. You'll be able to see him as he comes out. You can't really miss him, head and shoulders above everyone else, and he's also great over the ball, which is something that we can keep an eye out for.
Power off the bench at all? Any names coming off the bench?
A lot of versatility within that Saracen side. Off the bench, I've got the likes of Declan Murphy, who could potentially play 9 fullback. Louis Sinclair as well can be versatile across the back line. Pierre Garino, the Monaconian back row as well, deputy head at Felsted. The replacements for Harlequins, it's Will Smith for me, the ginger mullet. He can potentially cause some real havoc over the breakdown when he gets onto the field.
Early doors check on the ginger mullet. I like that. That's very good. Well, it should be a fantastic encounter. As we've mentioned, whenever these two sides come against each other, there's a little bit more than just bragging rights at stake. And Cobham is expectant, certainly. We are just awaiting the home side. The Saracens, the visitors, are out there, as you can see, stretched across the pitch, just being made to wait at the moment. But here come the home side, and they will be applauded onto the pitch. And it is good to see them taking the field. Some interesting names across both these teams. And certainly there is excitement as this goes. The Cobham themselves, the junior rugby club, were practicing a little bit earlier, and they've stuck around. They want to see what's going on. And our referee team will make their way out there. Assistant referee back at Piddlestone's on one side, Andre Van Zyl on the other. And there's the referee in picture, Connor Boyce. He will be in charge. And we will get underway with the boot of Benji Mills, the diminutive figure at 10 for Saracens. And it is lifted well, just spilt at the restop, and it goes backwards. Jimmy Staples is there to clear up for Quins, and they've turned it over. Saracens, good turnover ball this. They've got there might be a counter ruck coming on. Now the man is tasked to get out the way. Yule goes in at scrum half. Entwistle, number 9. Mills has to work quickly to get that ball away. Bracken, yes, that is a relation to Kieran Bracken. Jack Bracken playing at 15, and there's been a intercept or a charge down on that far side. Both teams going wide. Will Roberts.
A little bit frantic there from Saracens, potentially just trying to push things a little bit too early, but they're going to be chasing this game heavily. They'll want a bonus point out of it to ensure that they can get themselves at the top of the Southern Conference. That would put them in a final against Northampton on Sunday. That was all confirmed and wrapped up yesterday, so they're going to be really keen to try and spread things early wide, and that's potentially where Harlequins can counter them, and that can maybe bite Saracens on the behind.
Saracens front row, Ossovor, Yule and Wheeler up against Twitch and Staples and Fleary. First scrum, first opportunity to put some pressure on, and Quins do just that. Saracens scrum folds, but it is the arm in the air the other way.
I think that's harsh on Saracens. Kane Fleary especially did ever so well on that tight head side, just to apply the pressure towards Ossovor, but comes out Saracens side.
Kick down the touchline. Ever so ambitious, but into the 22 they tiptoe. Looks like the pressure comes through, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it potentially could be that it was Kane Fleury acting a little bit long, but I think that's still a harsh call.
Saracens do come down with the ball into the hands of Entwistle. First receiver is Wilson, the rather stocky 12. Quins will have their work cut out trying to shut down his channel. Merritt there with the blue scrum cap, doing well to buy a few extra yards. Mills out the back brings in Bracken speed there for all to see. Two men converge on him, bring him down. Entwistle is there. Again, flat ball for Saracens to use. Wheeler tumbles through and illegally helped, says the referee. Forward pass, and Harlequins will breathe again.
Really quick phase play there from Saracens that ordered them to be on the front foot. They're going to try and probably exploit that forward momentum and power, and then be able to get the likes of Bracken on the ball in that little bit of open space. We've seen that with a half chance he can make about 5-10 yards, but we can only hope that Saracens will be able to exploit that Harlequins defence and potentially get him that little bit more room to create some magic.
Jack Bracken at St Albans, brother of Charlie. He's doing good things for England under-20s at the moment. Another man with rugby in his bones, Lucas Friday at 9 for Quins. He brings in Macmillan, who hits a hard line. Friday again, long pass all the way out to Bellamy, whose boot is often magical. He pins Angus Hall all the way back into his own 22, and he returns the favour. The ball will stay in field. Bellamy is underneath it. He spins it in field to his half-back partner, and this is Anstey. Offloading keeps it alive. Quins again. Out the back, Bellamy thinks about it. Brings in Kerr. Now Macmillan. Offload, good hands from Kennedy. Quinn still going. This is really good play from them. Brilliant offload, man inside, fabulous try. Ronan Daniel is going to get there. That is what they are all about. That's a fabulous score for Harlequins.
Textbook Harlequins there. It all comes from that superb kick from Josh Bellamy as well, who really pinned Saracens back into their own half. Angus Hall had no option but to kick it long, and it meant that they could really reply and spread the width, and then Saracens were left with little numbers out wide, and Harlequins really made the most of it here, just managing to keep the ball alive. That injection of pace from Humphreys, and this offloading skill from forwards to backs, the fluidity between those loose forwards and outside backs, clear to see. And well, that is exactly what Mullen would have been asking for ahead of kickoff.
Hurst Pierpoint College boy, Ronan Daniel, rounding it all off, but a true team score from Quins. And Bellamy with the cherry on the top. And he obliges. Well, if Saracens were coming here with some sort of procession in mind, they have had it firmly laid out to them exactly what's in front of them and how hard they're going to have to work if they are going to claim first place in the Southern Conference. Ball is hung high beautifully by Benji Mills. Really well taken by Kennedy, but Saracens are down this short side, and very quickly Quins move to shut that door. You only have to give him a sniff.
It was just Junior Kapoku who managed to unlock that space. Not only has he got the strength and power, but his dexterity is sometimes overlooked, and it means that even if he doesn't take it into contact, he'll drag in about 2 or 3 defenders onto him. So it did try and create that space momentarily for Hall, but he can take it.
Kennedy off the top of the line-out. Again gives the platform. Macmillan. Saracens' counter-ruck is good. Haven't quite got hold of the ball, but they've made a nuisance themselves. Bellamy is trying to find his way through the fence. Good low tackles coming in from Saracens.
Harlequins defending very narrowly as well, which means that all that pressure is soaked up in the midfield.
Crossfield they come, looking for an opportunity, fires the ball, good awareness on this near side by Angus Hall. Entwistle hits the deck, almost got it pilfered. Kapoko slings it back, Mills, good interplay. West was the conduit, ball still alive for Saracens. Entwistle thinks he sees a gap inside the half, and is that going to go into the 22? I think it might. I think Saracens might be rewarded here. No, the assistant referee on the far side has said that's got trouble back in.
It was just taken back in. I think it was on the line when he had the ball, so it means that it would have been placed back by the Saracens player.
Another line out. Quids have to be clever. Up goes Seth Ely, KCS Wimbledon man. Again, good ground being made by Lucas Schmidt. I think he might be used a fair amount in that role. He's backwards off Bellamy's hands. He leaves it behind him, and then lackadaisically goes back and picks it up and kicks it down the throat of Toby Clinch. Clinch rides a few tackles. Sibor, strong from him. Mills picks out Friday. Friday's kick is too long. No, was inside the 22.
Real strong kicking battle between both sides at the moment. Neither have really put a foot wrong when it comes to playing off the boot, so I think that could potentially be where defences are unlocked.
Long ball, gathered well at the line out. Mills gets a platform to play with. Saracens will spin it all the way to this left wing. Hall loitering just outside the work of Bracken. Mills, a hard line, not collected, and therefore Harlequins will get this. The advantage is with them. Try scorer Danielle.
They go wide here, it could be on.
Sean Kerr does not take your advice. Comes back inside.
Good defence from Saracens there, just to hold up numbers.
Ripped, but they will go back for the knock-on, I think.
Just looks as though the threat in which Josh Bellamy and Lucas Friday's kicking game is causing means that Saracens are fairly insistent on having two players in the backfield at all times. So that means that space outside on the wing, if they can get it out there without sort of whilst withstanding the Saracens' press, means that they can get the ball over to Humphreys and Dando, who really have some pace to spare. They could be very profitable in those wide channels.
Insight from Will Roberts at Young Rugby on Instagram. No better place to know about schoolboy and age grade rugby than on that channel. Do make sure you get there. Oh, and that's a brilliant steal. How has he done that? Illegally so, says the referee. Great work from Barney Merritt, but the referee spotted he'd either come from the wrong side, was it? Rolling away, says the referee, the other tackler. So Merritt perhaps wasn't at fault. Speed with which they're working. And Bellamy obliges into the corner. And Quinn's 7 points up. They're looking for more. Quinn's with a good win today. We reckon could get as high as third in the Southern Conference. They come down with it. They make it work. The wedge is formed. Jimmy Staples at the back is just peering over the counter, trying to egg that line into view. He's almost there. He's down. The referee says yes. On the spot, the referee, and Jimmy Staples had to be very patient, had to work his way through, had to use the power of the men in front of him, and then lurch for the line. And Harlequins 2 tries up in 12 minutes or so. Here's a replay of it all.
It's very good awareness from Staples to stay alive and stay aware. He gets the ball here, and could be temptation to break off as the maul looked like it was static and potentially splintering, but that just second shove there as Saracens players begin to try and wrap round and kill the ball, and Staples just manages to stay alive with it and reaps the rewards of 5 points.
Oh, looking right down the gun of this Josh Bellamy kick. Lovely pair of pink plimsolls he's wearing. Well, the pink plimsolls don't work on this occasion. He steers it left. But this is consummate at the moment from Harlequins. Saracens definitely got their share of the ball, but Quins are turning theirs into points. Mills, the Brentwood boy, lifts it into the sky, and once again Hal Kennedy, who impressed the last time I saw him at Exeter a few weeks ago, and he's doing well again. And Friday, his left boot lifts it high, Bracken's underneath it, has to stutter, does exceptionally well to keep his feet and go again. Or the offload is unfortunate because Humphreys was on his right shoulder, and Humphreys plays for Harlequins. Anstey thinks he sees a bit of space. It's sat up on this artificial turf rather temptingly. Mills is back for Saracens. Good from Merritt again. Twists and turns and presents the ball. Ewan Entwistle. They lift it high. Anstey, I think it is, who comes down with the ball. He gets away from the first man, then lurches forward and buys himself an extra couple of metres. Bellamy's little kick through is going to cause trouble. Up goes Saracens, and the tackle is made in the air on Entwistle. And there could be a little bit of trouble here. The referee's immediately blown his whistle, asked players to stay back. I think it's Sean Kerr who is the man who's gone in. Kerr's eyes are on the ball. He goes up, and as soon as he starts to jump, he realises he might be in trouble. The landing is okay for Entwistle. He kind of lands almost on Kerr, but that's dangerous.
Yeah, it's I think the danger here could be a slight head knock to Sean Kerr. I think Entwistle's elbow just clattered into his noggin as he fell to the deck. So that's going to be the danger there. But just while the referees are discussing this, it's keen to note that Harlequins using their kicking game on the front foot. I mean, it's something that Nick Evans is really revolutionised in the senior squad and is now bringing into the England team in the Six Nations. You watch the game this afternoon and notice how much England will be kicking on the front foot, something that is very apparent within this Harlequin setup. We saw it with Dando's nudge before and Josh Bellamy as well. So there's a lot of front foot ball kicking, which is quite a positive thing for Harlequins at the moment.
Jimmy Staples, the captain from Harlequins, is being spoken to. Brilliant insight there to look out for this afternoon as we head into another afternoon full of Six Nations rugby. England versus Italy a little bit later on. I'm sure you'll all be glued to that. Well, Staples is making a case for the defence. Referee seems
I think it's going to be classed as a rugby incident, and I'd say that's probably the right call. Both players looking at the ball, intent on trying to retrieve it, and they both ended up with few injuries. So
Mills's kick almost hits me on the head, which has amused Manuel. There we go. It almost hit me on the head. My director has suddenly been interested in the harm that might have come to me. Saracens are going to play on, and Mills is going to try and find runners. So the ball is spilt, and Twistle, thankfully back to his feet after that tumble a few moments ago. Entwistle again, out the back they go. Wilson is bouncing people off. The referee's going to bring them back. No advantage there.
This could be a platform for Saracens to get themselves back into this game. They've very much been on the back foot when it comes to momentum, but if they can string a few penalties together now, play some rugby inside of Harlequins U18s and really use that forward pack as a big platform to sort of ignite the likes of Wilson and Bracken in that back line, who, when given the ball and chance, have looked bright so far.
Yeah, the director's determined to try and get some footage of me coming to harm there. I'm not sure that's fair enough. It wasn't that far away. Saracens' line-out is spoilt by Quins. Matabalavu is going to play in, and all of a sudden it's back in Wilson's hands, and Saracens have it. Josh Bellamy with the ambitious pass there, and Boylan, wearing 6 on his back, is going to try and make an extra little bit of ground. Entwistle, Mills finds Yule. Need to get out the way, referee agrees, that's okay. Kruger. Tackle looked a little high and around the neck, the referee talks to them. Charlie West tumbles forward, Entwistle again. They pour towards that line, good tackles coming in from Quins. Mills again, they try and breach the line, towards it they go. Good tackle on Balsa. Saracens are still there. Here goes Yule. Quins holding firm at the moment. More big tackles come in. Dando, I think it was, on that far side. Here it is, they lurch, and I think they get there. It could be Clinch, we'll have to have a look. Toby Clinch comes up with the ball. The Fimbra boy on the right wing. And Saracens pressed very hard there, Will, and eventually they come up with points.
Well, it was high risk, high reward sort of defending from Harlequins to begin with. Lucas Friday sort of shot up and tried to diminish things. Ethan Dando, that's a great tackle from the centre turn winger for today, and just this pass lasered across the face. It's an excellent finish there from Clinch, who had a lot of work to do still, and just managed to use his core strength to stay in field and get Saracens on the board with a well-timed score.
Benji Mills is way out on the right-hand touchline. This is as tough a kick as they come. And it just slides across the face of the posts, and Saracens' benefit is just 5 points.
You can imagine Junior Kotoku underneath this ball here. It looks like that's where Bellamy's going to aim for, and may very well not need a lifter.
He's almost head and shoulders over everyone else. And they do well, Quins. He pulled it. McMillan brave and into the face of Kapuku. But look, Junior Kapuku has the ball. Somehow the big man's come up with it, and he's got about 5 or 6 people with him at the moment. It is extraordinary to watch him go. Merritt plays conduit, and this is Bracken. Angus Hall, little chip ahead. Oh, it's spilt awkwardly. And Saracens will get the put into the scrum. Anstey, a little nervous, a little anxious as it was bouncing around, and the pressure came and he spilt it.
And that all comes from Junior Kapoku. He swarmed about 5 or 6 Harlequins defenders into his grasp, and that quick ball meant that there was so much space on this outside here for Bracken and Hall to work in. That's exactly what we were mentioning before. And look, he had 4, 5, 6 defenders all over him, and I mean everyone had to come inside a little bit. Is this quick ball here?
They pinch a little early on, don't they? There's 2 or 3 men there. Merritt does some good work.
Just created that space out wide. Excellent work from Saracens, using that forward pack as a platform and releasing.
Anstey knew that Bracken was there, didn't he?
That's a tricky kick to try and collect. It was bouncing up just before the try line. It's a nightmare for a fullback.
They do bounce a little differently, these artificial pitches. Not much, but just a little. Entwistle is going to put this in. Saracens is going to put the shove on. Merritt goes right. Tackles come in from Quins. Ball is produced for Saracens. They come left. The big man Balsaw is in. They've got underneath him, Quins. Referee says turnover.
Lucas Schmid and Mata Balavu there, just holding up Max Wheeler, using expert sort of core strength to keep him up and keep the ball live, and just suffocating that Saracens attack that at that point was actually looking like it was going somewhere.
Really, really good play, as good as anything going forward. That for Quins, they'll be very, very happy with their resolve in their own 22 there to get the ball back.
You've got to wonder how Quins are going to be able to get themselves out of this situation. They're famed for trying to potentially run things from here, but with the scoreline as it is, the time on the clock, it means that with the overall context of the league, it means that potentially, boots the ball's the better option.
It goes deep. Bracken is underneath it. Bracken steps inside. Good tackle from Friday. Brings his man down very effectively, going low. Mills is hit by Bellamy, and the referee, I think, is going to intervene. And he's gone to his pocket, and I think Bellamy is going to be shown a yellow card and have 10 minutes on the bin. That could be crucial.
Well, it's silly from Josh Bellamy there. I think he's just trying to get a little bit of an upper hand on his opposite number, potentially behind the referee's back, but he saw it. It's just this extra little nudge. We saw this between Owen Farrell and Finn Russell, those little tussles that they were having in the game last weekend, and look, just that little late shot. He thought he could potentially get away with it, bit of gamesmanship, but no, he's been caught red-handed.
And without Bellamy for the next 10 minutes until half-time, it's going to be very difficult for this Quins side.
Well, the man who would usually probably stand in that sort of position is Sean Kerr, plays fly half for his school team Whitgift, but he looks relatively battered and bruised. He's currently got something up his nose to stop it bleeding, and was down on the try line a few moments ago receiving treatment, so it looked as though it could be quite a tricky time for the organisers and halfbacks for Harlequins at the moment.
Saracens with a glint in their eye. They can smell a little bit of blood. Crossed once. They need a second to potentially draw equal or level. Ball is scrappy for Saracens. Entwistle has horrible produce to deal with. Wilson slightly better. Ball is low. Merritt through the gap. Merritt unheld and therefore goes on. And the ball has been spilt again, and the referee says illegally so.
So discipline really costing Harlequins at the moment. They created such good momentum in the first sort of half of this half, and they've really thrown it all away with some bad disciplined decisions.
There's another one from Saracens. The ball over the top there was incredibly speculative, and Angus Hall had to work really hard to keep the ball in, and in doing so threw it forward, and Saracens' pressure has just well, they've let all the air out of the balloon.
Again, Harlequins are now in a very tight predicament in that without a fly half, they're going to have to try and manage their way out of their own 22. You
can see Sean Kerr now with a nosebleed, standing out there at 10, looking as though he's already been in quite a fight. Friday is waiting for this ball to come back. He uses his foot. The referee sees the knock on. He went for it once. And there's a little bit of spice out there. Saracens versus Harlequins. It never goes too far without either side having some sort of say.
It seems to be a bit of Saracens culture to really over-applaud and cheer at every sort of decision, and it seems to have bled all the way through down to the under-18s.
And that wasn't just that, because that was a mistake by Friday as well, which allows them to get into him a little bit more. It's gamesmanship, most certainly. Well, the man taking a knee is Junior Kapuku.
I think Saracens have just made a change. Deo Ayorinde's on, and Jake Bowser's making way, so I'm not sure if it's tactical. Maybe he's carrying a bit of a knock, or he seems to be changing.
Ayorinde, Sutton Valence player, wearing 19 on his back, now firmly into the action.
In some second row.
He is. You must feel ever so safe putting your arm around Junior Kapuku. He's one of mine. Here we go. There's Hall being told by Ewan Entwistle on this near side to stand a little bit wider, offer threat on this short side. There are a man down in the back line. How can Saracens unlock the door? Wilson wide to Bracken. Bracken on the outside, tumbles through. Bracken for the line. Good finish from the fullback. And Saracens climbing back into this encounter.
He's arguably been Saracens' best player for the course of this first half. He seems to have been able to just find that outside edge so often, and well, when it counts, he did just that. Excellent work from Bracken to stay on his feet and bring this little bit of injective pace. I mean, it's a fairly difficult score to try and finish when he got into that sort of position, but superb work to just keep on his toes, and just that little step outside just to deceive Humphreys, and really difficult to stop.
Yeah, good score from Saracens, and this is a game as we edge towards half time. If you were under any illusion how intriguing this one would be this afternoon, here's your answer. And the missed conversion means that at the moment Harlequins still hold the lead, a narrow lead at that. Benji Mills' kicking boots are back in the changing room at the moment. Little delay in restart. It is Sean Kerr who's going to have the duties to get us up and underway. He does just that. High and hanging. Yule spills it backwards, says the referee, and it looked that way from here. Saracens very direct. Again, men tumbling through holes for them. Merritt combines with Mills, and again Bracken is away. Bracken finding it, stepping, going. Jack Bracken trying to get away from people. Good offload, brings in Wilson. Wilson still on it. Towards the line they go. Twist and the turn. The power, I think, from Ayorinde. Not quite there. Difficult to see from our vantage point. Merritt brings in Wheeler. Wheeler gets a face full of Harlequin defender. Good offload from the floor from Entwistle. Now pirouetting towards the line is Boylan. Wheeler again, good, strong tackles from Quins come in. and they've rescued the ball. Saracens left the door open, and in Quinn Stoll. Twitchen. Rolling, says the referee, and that's a penalty to Saracens. They've gone quick. No, they'll be brought back. They'll be brought back. Yeah, referee there saying Twitchen had had too many revolutions on the floor, trying to protect the ball.
Again, it's the work of Bracken just to find that outside edge. Now that there's here it is, and Mills. It's a speculative pass, to be fair, but Bracken just comes into his stride so well, and this step is just delectable. It's so nice. And to keep the ball alive there to Wilson at the end of that VT is excellent work.
Yeah, Bracken really showing his class this afternoon. The referee says that the man went in front of the chap who caught the ball there. Difficult law to see when it happens and unfolds at the time. Friday's going to go quickly, and Quinn's are going to go quickly, and McMillan is going to make his way through. And here goes Dando, offload, just about held. Quinn's in a flash into the opposition half. There's a bit of space out here. They're calling for it. Humphries on this right-hand side wants the ball.
Bellamy's back on.
Here is Bellamy, out to Kerr. Hall, he's going to kick the ball deep. Bellamy's tiptoed back and he spills it. Knock on, says the referee, rather obvious to everyone. Interesting as we ebb towards half-time. I know momentum's an interesting word in sport, but it does seem to have gone the way of the men in white.
It really has, and it's down to that kicking game again. Just a few nudges here and there, potentially. Well, Harlequins once again were trying to kick on the front foot with Sean Kerr as they had the momentum out the back, but Angus Hall, his kick was high and long, put a lot of pressure on Bellamy. It was an excellent chase from him and Kapoku, and just meant that he took his eye off the ball slightly. And Saracens now have this superb platform off this scrum. Could go left, could go right, almost just off centre. It's a fly half dream, really, to be in this sort of position with the amount of options Benji Mills has got.
Yeah, super bit of real estate this. They would have liked this one on the training paddock. Mills is stood alongside Wilson. Hall has kept his width out here. Merritt could break. Well, they've got to get the ball first. Entwistle. Scrum was under pressure there, and that will have had to reset things. There's the power from Wilson. Oscar Wilson, the Oaklands boy. Ball kicked through for Mills. Looks a little long. It is out on the full. So whilst they won't go back far, it is a little bit more of an advantage for Quins. And Jimmy Staples will come across and try and find the right man at the top of this line-out.
Good ingenuity from Mills. They went back the other way and potentially ran themselves into a bit of a brick wall, so Mills just thought about pushing the option of that crossfield kick. A little bit too long though, means that Quins can try and create something off this line out, and they've been impressive off the jump so far this half.
Ely, Kennedy, Danielle doing some good work. Down it comes. Quins safely with it. The pass is awful for Bellamy to have to deal with. McMillan takes matters into his own hands. Frank McMillan storming through tackles so far this afternoon. Referee says coming from the wrong angle.
Yeah, Frank McMillan's been a bright spark in that Harlequins back line at the moment. Probably one that we didn't initially think would be that, but I think he's really come into his own towards the back end of this season, taking the 13 shirt off of Ethan Dando, who's had a relatively injury-ridden time, so forcing Dando onto the wing. He's really taking control of that 13 shirt, and he's proving at the moment why Mullen keeps on picking it.
Well, he's relatively no nonsense, isn't he? He just does certain things, perhaps straightforward things, exceptionally well. He's gets those legs pumping, builds a good head of steam up. Bellamy talking about a head of steam. Here's Lucas Schmidt. He will run through brick walls for Harlequins. Friday goes back the other way. Bellamy's bit of magic feet unlocks a door partially. Quins again, same way. Appeals for Saracens men getting involved. Little kick through from Matabalavu, and it goes into touch. Roma Matabalavu's skill set there for everyone to see. He's more than happy to put boot on ball, even though he's in the back row.
Well, he's half Irish, half Fijian, which you'd argue is probably the most ideal set of DNA to create a rugby player at the moment, really.
Oh, what about Ireland yesterday afternoon? Some absolutely fantastic rugby being played in emerald green at the moment. And yeah, that bit of Fijian sprinkle, you can't get better than that. And certainly a name to look out for, not only this season but also in following seasons, I'm sure. Trinity schools Roma Matabalavu. Down Quins come with the ball. Staples gets it back. The try scorer Staples. Kerr is through the gap, and all of a sudden, here we go towards the line. Dando, has he got enough on it? The referee says yes. Referee happy that enough downward pressure had been applied, and I think Dando has got Harlequin's third score. And going into half time, that could be a really strong fillip for them.
Right off the training paddock here, Sean Kerr, good legs pumping, and yeah, just keeps the ball alive. And Ethan Dando does incredibly well just to swing his legs around to ensure that they don't head out into touch before he gets the ball down. He just careers his body inside just to protect his balance, and it's a really ingenious finish, that.
Yeah, he could have found the touchline there. Yeah, talking of touchlines in rugby in Ireland, hot topics at the moment. Toes in touch. Bellamy's kick is to the left hand of the upright, and we will go into half time, and Harlequins have their noses in front. It's a 7-point lead, it's 3 tries to 2, but it's a fascinating game of rugby down here at Cobham. Really enjoyable stuff. Gerard Mullen there just in your shot having a chat with Bellamy. I think he'll be happy, but Saracens definitely in this, and it all to play for in the second 35 minutes. Harlequins 17, Saracens 10. Maybe have a look at some of the highlights here. Will Roberts, talk us through what you liked here.
Well, this here was the first score from Harlequins, just managing to get their cogs turning. Macmillan, and these hands here were really textbook Quins. They managing to keep the ball alive when we all thought it was a little bit lost there. Kerr just manages to keep it fresh, and that from Ronan Daniel just to be on that expert support line, back to forward to back.
Yeah, this is the kick through as well, which you were saying is being seen as a big part of the armoury of Harlequins, Will.
It is what Nick Evans has discussed in a lot of interviews about kicking on the front foot, and that's exactly what they did there, and you can see how it created the platform, and they managed to sort of get the ball out wide here and could swing it back the other way. Here then, this quick ball for Friday, managing to set the platform for Bellamy.
Picks the right pass there. Macmillan, we've picked him out late on, been a key part of how Quins have gone forward, and it could have gone to a number of different players there. Great score for Quins. Set the mood, I think, for this afternoon, certainly.
Definitely did, and this is almost the antithesis of the Harlequin skill set. It was all about the forwards this time, and the dark arts, and well, it's still equally as impressive for Jimmy Staples to manage to career himself towards the line, even when that maul stalled momentarily. Managed to keep the ball fresh and got it down over the whitewash.
Yeah, a lot of moving parts to that particular machine, but all bits looking good for Quins, and Saracens had their fair go, and they eventually got reward here.
Just good patience and phase play, which is hard to coach at this sort of level when players are just so keen on playing and getting the ball out and forcing it. So that's a praise to the hard work of the Saracens coaches to drill them in. But this was the initial work from Kapoku off the restart, and he just manages to have the ball under his grasp and suck in about 3, 4, now 5 Quins defenders, which means a third of their team was targeted on one player. That is so crucial to how that score came to be.
And then we have the yellow card. This is this is the late shot from Bellamy on his opposite number, Mills. I thought for a moment now that my memory bank confusing me, because we did have a takeout in the air, but that didn't end up as a yellow card. That was a yellow card for Bellamy, and this was Saracens' second score.
Again, they had the numbers advantage thanks to Bellamy in the bin, but it just gave that extra leg room for Bracken to get on that outside edge, something that he worked hard to try and do when it was 15 on 15, but he's just given 1 or 2 extra inches thanks to the manipulation from the Saracens attack, and just the way that he stays on his feet here. I mean, he's got a rugby in his blood, that's for sure. Kieran is his dad, Charlie is his older but smaller brother, and it's superb to see another Bracken shining in Saracens colours.
And this was the response. Quins without the ball for about 10-15 minutes towards the end of that half, and then they're showing their quality to just build it, go the length of the field, and well finished off by Dando.
It's a really good finish from Ethan Dando. He has a lot to do here, and he contorts his body in a really nice way, but straight off phase play, Sean Kerr had a part to play there as well. It seems as though Harlequins were looking to just turn it on towards the end of that first half.
Yeah, really, really good half of rugby. What next? Stay with us, go and get a cup of tea, don't be long. We'll be back with the second half of Quins Saracens. Well, we're not far away from getting underway. We just have one of the cast is missing. Answers via social media as to who that might be. Have a look. Everyone is ready. Everyone is ready. Who's not out there? Yes, it's the referee. We've got a, he's obviously halfway through a digestive at the moment. Yeah, I think he's coming out. He's just got to change his whistle. Is he coming? Is he coming? It's a relatively good crowd here, about 400, 500 people around the pitch, all waiting at the moment. Maybe this referee's thinking that we've got a senior game and gets the full 10 minutes. We still wait. If you're joining us, we're waiting for the referee at the moment. We're just trying to locate him, just trying to find him. Everyone else of the cast is in place. They've gone through their lines once. They've made sure all the props are set. Well, maybe he's gone home. Maybe he got in his car and he's had enough. You know, he's seen what he needs to see. He's busy this afternoon. Did we pay him the full amount? What's going on here? And the coaches come on and ask for a little bit of a... He's not in the changing room apparently. Oh, no, I can see a green shirt coming out.
They're on the way
apparently. Yep. I don't think... yeah, here they come. They're across the car park. At least two of them. Oh, yeah, they're all here. There we go. Right, just there we go. Here they come. Oh dear. Right, we're ready to go. Referee's done what he needed to do. He's back.
Comms issue.
Yeah, comms issue, says the assistant referee on the near side, which I think is a polite way of saying, yeah, we were late. Here we go then, Quins get us underway once more. The ball is let drop by Saracens. Junior Kapoku plucks it out of the air though. Merritt is with him. Merritt played well in his first half. There are a couple of changes certainly for Saracens. 16 Henry Walker is on. Declan Murphy is also on at scrum half. And then Quins will get the penalty. I can't see any changes to the Quins side. I may be wrong. Just cast our eyes across that one.
They seem to be as they were, but yeah, quite a few changes.
Oh, yeah, Alex O'Driscoll's also on. Yeah, good spot.
It'll be interesting to see Declan Murphy started the game versus Bristol at fullback, but usually a trademark 9. So back in his more familiar position off the bench now. So see what he can sort of create at half-back.
He's out of the Saracens Academy School as well. Good to see them bearing fruit. Quins come down with it. Ball bounces around. Friday eventually gets it back. Bellamy takes it to the line. Bellamy dancing. Now looks for the offload. Kerr goes back and tries to sweep up. A big tackle comes in on him. Friday goes right. Bellamy again, stepping, going. Saracens have got underneath him. He's going to make his way to the floor. Referee says turnover.
Just things not really going his way this afternoon, and he's the type of player that he is means that it becomes very difficult for him to play his sort of game. He sometimes just needs that little bit of luck on his side when he's playing a little bit more dangerously and on the front foot, and well, it's really not working out for him at the moment, and it's just causing a little bit of a headache for the young 10.
A little bit of an adjustment being made, yeah, front row just having a check.
Rich Twitchen
is the Seaford boy. Two Seaford men in the front row alongside Jimmy Staples, classmate Richard Twitchen in the number 1 shirt. Kane Fleary of the Trinity School makes up the full front row. The Quins. Not that, we've got Jamie Miller on, of course, and Whitgift, sorry.
Miller can play on both sides of the scrum, which is now not as uncommon as it potentially used to be in professional rugby, because versatility is just becoming a massive skill set, but still at this sort of level interesting to see, and something that's being utilised obviously now by Harlequins as he comes off the bench to cover tight head. They've also got Brian Karamanzira on the bench as well, Harlequins, so a lot of cover across the front row.
Here's the scrum that goes down and is reset by the referee. Scoreboard wise in control of this game, but feels a lot closer than 7 points, if I'm honest. Saracens have certainly had the possession, had the time. Ball is kept in and looked as though it might have gone forward then. The referee agrees with me. And the penalty comes, is it knocking the ball away?
Offside.
Oh, offside.
So the ball was knocked forward and then collected by Tom Humphreys, which technically makes him offside.
Humphreys on the retreat. Working on the far side. The ball bangs against the side netting. The barrier on the far side. And how can the Saracens go from here? Yule finds his man at the top of the line. The wedge is formed. The Quins do well to repulse the first shove. Capoco's body shape is going to be adjusted now, and that could make a difference. He gets his head down and forward they go. Then it is Capoco who pops his head through and scores the try that could draw them level. Well, Capoco just needed to adjust himself from the line out, and as soon as he did, things seemed to change from the Saracens pack.
Absolutely crucial score there, and is delivered by one of their key players. He does well to get up off this line out. A lot of disruption there caused, which meant that just had to reset themselves, Saracens, and try and reform the wedge as it was going. You can see him there caught right in the middle of that mould, and he swims his way back into the picture as Harlequins just try to push it and spin it round. That's where the penalty came, and Capoco just went, oh well, I'll take it from here, and got it under his grasp, and from 5 metres out all he needs to do is just flop over.
Benji Mills slots it, and we are all square once more. 3 tries apiece, 1 converted, means 17 points all, and everything to play for at Cobham.
There's just some treatment being cared to for I think that's Ronan Daniel, who's just trying to rejoin us.
Try scorer in the first half, Daniel. He's going to get straight back into it and get underneath this ball. Millen goes up and comes off second best to Capoco, who seems omnipresent at the moment. Work from O'Driscoll, good carry from him. Mills looks downfield. Bellamy has gone back. Bellamy decides to put the ball under his arm and run it out. Up to the 10-metre line. Tackle, says the referee. Friday goes right. Kerr links up with Ely. Bellamy ignores those runners, tries to find a bit of space, thread the ball through, it's disrupted, and now Saracens have got it. Kapoko, hands could work, Wilson's got to hold on to it, looked as though it went forward. Referee will bring them back. Again, you mentioned it in the first half, Will, and you've picked up on it in the second half already. Bellamy's decision-making just almost causing more problems than it's worth.
I think when he's playing the sort of rugby that he's famed for, it's very difficult once you get into a unlucky groove to try and get out of things. He's always going to have to try and do things on his own.
Is he trying to force it?
Yeah, I'd say that's exactly that. He's we'll see that Harlequins are potentially chasing momentum here, and will look to try and fix things, which he, to be fair to him, normally does, but on these sort of occasions the pass is just not sticking at the moment.
Mills wide to Wilson, I think. Yeah, brought in. Kruger, my mistake, is the man on the floor. They'll go again. Murphy, the other replacement, O'Driscoll. Merritt with the dummy. Kapuku, that large frame, needs two men to bring it down. And the kick through from Murphy has been gathered up, and this is where Quins could be a little bit dangerous. What broken field play. Quick ball from Friday, needs the referee to get out of the way. Bellamy looks downfield and tries to kick it over the head of Benji Mills, but Mills is equal to the task. Off the head of Friday, I think it is. McMillan has gathered the ball, he places it back. Saracens come through, off their feet, but slow it down enough. Bellamy, Kerr, good line from Kennedy. Friday again, Kerr again, scythe down in the midfield, good tackle from Saracens. Twitchett, loose head, tumbles forward. Bellamy again, huge hit on him, a bit of afters as well. The referee's going to come back for a knock on. They are trying to leave their mark on Bellamy, trying to get underneath his skin, and it seems to be working a little bit at the moment. Will Roberts,
Charlie West just showing Josh Bellamy exactly how to produce a slightly late tackle. Times it to perfection in a classic sort of open side fashion. He just hits that shoulder in just as he aims to release the ball, completely knocking him off his stride, and meaning that the ball goes squiff too. It's an excellent shot, not just physically but mentally as well. It'll be rattling Bellamy, who will try and screw his head back on.
Yeah, we'll have a look at it here. Friday with relatively quick ball, but look how quick he's off the mark there. Ball is away, Polax is in.
Just as he opens his body up to turn and to give the pass away, just exposes his rib cage, and well, Charlie West just licks his lips and sticks right in.
It's not Bellamy who's down at the moment, it is Friday who took an awful whacking as he went up for that ball a little bit earlier. The ball ricocheted off his head. He seems to be okay.
They've got Wickham on the bench, who's come on in a number of games in the past few weeks and has really shone. So he could potentially be utilised in a few minutes' time, but at the moment Friday looks to be powering on. So it's
another look at this Saracens try, and Kapoko's rearranging his body weight and lurching towards that line. It's impossible to stop. But it is a Quins put into this scrum on the halfway line. They will go right. It's spilt by Friday. Merritt has the ball. Another dummy from him. Almost Ardy Sever-esque. Doesn't quite work. That's more like it from Saracens. Good offloading and interplay by the men on the bench, Nunn and O'Driscoll. Mills. To the line goes Kruger. Not held. Kruger can get up and go again. He does. Now he presents the ball back. Murphy. Juggled with by Walker. Hartbury College boy now, all the way down in the southwest. Mills to the line. Brilliant offload. Forward, says the referee. That's why it was so good.
That's harsh on Benji Mills there. He just opens himself up and gets the offload away. It's an excellent line picked as well by O'Driscoll, but Harlequins breathe a sigh of relief as they was permanently on the back foot there.
Difficult perhaps to tell from this angle, but as you say, exceptional work to get to that line and throw this offload. He leaves it late. Oh, just an inch or so. Forward is forward.
On the replay I can see that a bit clearer, but live it was a bit more contentious. Looks like Wickham is on. Friday is taking a rest. Matabalavu also off, so I imagine potentially Will Pert-Smith is on the far side of that scrum. Yeah, can't miss him.
You mentioned him pretty much, and not only with the distinctive haircut, but another very good player out of the Trinity School.
He's this is second year of first 15 rugby at Trinity, and they've obviously been very successful. Schools Cup champions last year, successful as well at various competitions. And Will Pert-Smith is part of that spine that does so well for them. An absolute turnover machine, and also got good dexterity in hands and the ball, so we could be able to see all of that in play now as he's on the field.
Sean Kirk through the tackle. Good offload. Humphreys has got to work hard. He does. Replacement Matt Wickham is now on. Kerr again. Ball ricochets, and there was a shot to nothing. The referee obviously had made it clear that they were playing the advantage. In at the side, says the referee, I think. And Matt Wickham, the Reigate Grammar boy, is going to scurry over and try and get the ball into the hands of Bellamy. There's a man on the floor, and the referee will probably call halt to it here. Well, just over 20 minutes to go. Will Roberts of Young Rugby fame on Instagram and other social media channels knows so much about schoolboy and age grade rugby. What are you seeing here? Is this as tough a test as Saracens have had in this Southern Conference, do you think?
Ooh, I'd say it's certainly up there. I think they had a tough showing, to my recollection, against London Irish. You're obviously at the top of the tree at the moment, dependent on obviously what goes on here. That it's been their bye week, so they just had to sort of sit and hope. This weekend, as they've done all they can, they've played their 6 matches, so it is for Saracens to take here. And a bonus point win would see them comfortably sit at the top of the table, playing against Northampton in the final on Sunday. And if they can get to that sort of position, I think that would be the game that I would want to watch, a Saracens versus Northampton in almost classic fashion. But it'll be a really interesting test heading into the final few minutes to see whether Harlequins can really throw a spanner in the works.
Another substitution. Actually, it's a substitute who's going to be substituted here, and Deo Oyerinde is making way.
Yeah, that's Pierre Gorino who's come on. He's playing at Felsted School. He's a Monaconian.
Right.
So
don't know many of those rugby players.
Exactly.
Oh, McMillan's gone down the right-hand side, and Humphreys is going to steal in! Oh, out of almost nothing! Harlequins have hit the button! McMillan again making inroads, and the offload was lovely, and Tom Humphreys has surged down that right-hand touchline.
So quick.
Has he?
Tom
He's in
Humphreys.
touch. He's in touch. Yes, he is. The referee's sister referee on the far side has got their flag up. I thought he'd done exceptionally well here. The burst again, lovely offload, almost Finn Russell-esque. Is it a tackle from Kabuku, who I mentioned him being omnipresent earlier. Goodness me, that is crucial from him. Saracens and Murphy are going to kick the ball long.
Excellent kick from Murphy there, really puts Bellamy on the back foot. He's going to have to try and pick something out of one of his boxer tricks.
Humphreys so close a little bit early. Finds Junior Kapuku, who finds Bracken, who was so good in that first half. We haven't heard much from him in the second half, and that ball is going to bounce. It's going to bounce long, is it? Or it's going to sit up. And Anstey's going to pump the ball forward, and this could work. Merritt, oh, Bracken was calling for it. It's gone the wrong way. Can Garino make hay on this right-hand side? Kapuku, good tackle on him. Ball forward from Murphy. Referee says knock on. There was two, potentially.
So it's a lucky bounce on Bracken's behalf, because it was a good kick, but potentially thought there was a little bit too much on it. Meant that Anstey had to make a split decision, and that decision was to kick long. And then you really thought that when Merritt got his hands on the ball with a bit of broken field in front of him, that they could have been able to create something, but just got a little bit overexcited there, Saracens, and submitted possession to Harlequins. I think all the substitutions been made there. Ethan Fitzgerald looks to be on for Harlequins, so they've had a complete rejig of their back line. Smith as well, is that? Sorry, Jack Thomas wearing 23. So it looks like Dando's come off, as well as yeah, that's what I'd assume has happened, and I think potentially difficult to figure out. Sean Kerr may have gone to the wing. It's where he played quite a lot of his rugby last year for Harlequins. Thomas at fullback, and then Humphreys on the other wing.
Harlequins. It's going to work. They're going to unpick it. Saracens are scrambling to get back. Wickham's going to go short side. Into touch, they tumble. Fire is doused by Saracens. High fives all round. Kabuko making himself known. Congratulating those who were able to just steward Harlequins out of touch. Yeah, Jack Thomas on this near side.
It's Bellamy in the backfield now, so I think Harlequins definitely playing with a seemingly fluid back line. Swapping in and out. Fitzgerald at 10 potentially. Interesting to see.
Kerr steps through. Kerr's got it. Harlequins with the right numbers here. Could work. Towards the line they fall. Round Bellamy. It is in. Bellamy has got there for the bonus point score for Harlequins.
That's exactly what Josh Bellamy needed. I think potentially Fitzgerald coming in at half-back means that Bellamy can sort of just have that pressure lifted off him and attack angles from deep, and that's exactly what he was doing here. He could see the bigger picture. He could understand here when McMillan went to ground. He surveyed his options and just went short side here. It's very clever from Josh Bellamy, who's got an excellent rugby mind, and well, he was able to figure out the lay of the land before he got there and execute it to perfection, scoring down the wing.
Yeah, as you say there, very much done before it happens. We'll have another look at it for the work from Sean Kerr just to release McMillan. It's been a good combination for Quins. That McMillan deserves the score. Worked very hard this afternoon, didn't quite get there. Bellamy over. This is a pretty crucial score. feel the eyes of the watching public. It's an absolute perler. Bellamy's smile is wide as he treks back to retake his position. That was a good kick, and a crucial kick. 7 points the difference now.
Pressure kicks seems to be what Josh Bellamy lives off. He won the inaugural Dave Allward Kicking Cup trophy, which requires you to goal kick for an 100% record. I think he went about 13 kicks, and that's under the pressure of cameras in your face as well as a full watching audience, and slotted every single one of them. That is the sort of level that Josh Bellamy works at. That was sort of 2-3 years ago when he was about 15, 16, and look at him now. He seems to be really the finished product, and I think his shift to fullback could just allow him to open up a bit more space, relax a bit more into the game, which is something he's been missing a little bit this afternoon.
Saracens are pushed into touch, and Quins will get the ball back, and Quins will get another opportunity in which to load up the shotgun and see what they can do. Sean Kerr is hobbling it from the very start. Sean Kerr has been in the wars. He's had tissue up his nose, he's had running repairs, and now he hobbles back into position. Certainly done his bit for Quins this afternoon. Fitzgerald and Kerr combine again. McMillan along this line. Humphreys searching for that 22-metre line. He goes down to the floor. Wickham brings in Adai, who's now on the pitch. Wickham again. Fitzgerald. Inside ball to Bellamy. Brilliant. Offloading again. This is more like Quins. They have a pep in their step. Adai picks and goes. Saracens repel him. And that's a trademark score from Lucas Schmidt. He had to get in on the act, and he has. Quins extend their lead, and in a flash they've grabbed hold of this game by the scruff of the neck, and it is Saracens with all the work to do.
Big moment player, Lucas Schmidt. Seems to be what he does best, and he scored a relatively similar try against Gloucester right at the start of 2023, and he's going to finish 2023 in the under-18 shirt with a similar try too. Just a real poacher's effort.
Adai does well, repelled, but then plays it back, and Schmidt gets away from the first tackle.
Well, picking that ball on the back foot, Adai does do well, but he doesn't get any gain line, which means that Schmidt has to sort of restart the whole momentum. But that worked from Bellamy just again on the inside. He seems to just have a little bit more freedom now that he's been relieved of his fly half duties, and means that he can come from all the way back and spot those gaps. And well, he's scored the first try, set up that second one, so he seems to have been flourishing now at fullback.
Yeah, all of a sudden the gap is now 14 points, and Bellamy's gait is bouncing. He is very much a happier camper than he was about 10 minutes ago.
Louis Sinclair is on. Benji Mills makes way, so that's another Finborough boy coming onto the field. Louis Sinclair, a very experienced player at fly half. He's been controlling a very, very successful Finborough side throughout the school rugby campaign, and he's going to translate that hopefully into some successful work for Saracens now.
He's got his work cut out, most certainly. Joe Robinson is also on this near side. Haileybury boy. And Saracens got to do some serious scoring in the last 15 minutes or so if they are to book their place in the top spot of this conference. Ball from Fitzgerald. McMillan does well. Adai reaches for it. It goes all the way over the top of him, and Schmidt is also juggling with it. Tackle looked a little high. Schmidt tries to put the ball back, and it bounces, as rugby balls do, awkwardly. Merritt. Away from the tackler goes West. Ball on the floor. Referee has seen the knock on. Well, West has been impressive, Merritt has been impressive in the back row for Saracens, but it isn't quite at the moment going to hand.
No, they've just lost that momentum that they had in the first period, and it means that those passes that were sticking half an hour ago just aren't really now, and Saracens going to have to work extra hard now that they're chasing the game. Also means that Harlequins are just in fine rhythm to just pluck themselves out on the 22. I can imagine that they could potentially be looking to run this. That would be typical of Quins.
We're just looking at the moment, Saracens are very much set up for the kick, a little bit narrow. Referee just having a discussion with his front rows and the assistant referee on the far side. Fitzgerald, the replacement at fly half for Quins. You can't see it in your picture at the moment. He's having a lot of chat with the men outside him. And here we go. We called it. Bellamy on the outside. Bellamy with Thomas. Bellamy goes one way, then the other, and the intercept comes in. Clinch had read it. Will Smith over the ball. Referee says not so legal. Well, not legally at the moment. Saracens play on. Balsaw. Ball on the floor again though. Awkward. They'll come this way. Walker tumbles and referee says not letting go of the tackler. I thought Pert Smith was in a decent position, but obviously there's another man who was making things difficult for Saracens to get the ball back.
Crucial kick here from Sinclair. He's going to try and have to get as close to that 5 metre line as possible, and he's done just that. It's a great kick.
Yeah, really good nudge into the corner, and Junior Kapuku will walk forward with the nonchalance of a man who is bigger and stronger than anyone else on the field. And your shot there. Minutes or so to go.
Saracens want to get anything out of this game, they're going to have to score now.
Balsaw goes up, down it comes, Merritt's got it. They'll try and pull themselves towards the line. Merritt pirouettes his way away from trouble. Pert Smith collides with him. Both men are okay. They go left. Good tackles come in. Humphreys has managed to steal the ball as well as the tackle. McMillan. Quinn suddenly. Bit of ball for them to play with. Bellamy again in traffic. Tries to get the offload away and it doesn't work. Could that be problematic for Will Pert Smith with a huge tackle on Junior Kapuka? Gets a cheer from those watching. Smith has hurt himself potentially in the doing of it. Charlie Nunn, Haileybury boy into contact. His front row partner Henry Walker also looking for it. The referee's going to come back for another penalty, and I wonder whether Sinclair is going to look to the corner again.
They have to be searching for the full 7 points. They want to get themselves back into this game.
We'll try and do some calculations as to exactly what it means. Another point for Saracens would effectively give them 2 bonus points if they get within 7. That's that tackle from Will Pert Smith on Junior Kapuka. It's brilliant. It's been doubled his size, Junior Kapuka. Will Pert Smith is showing that rugby's for all sizes, and most of it is all about your heart and your courage.
So if Saracens get 2 bonus points out of this game, then that would put them equal on points with Bristol and equal on bonus points. So I'm not sure what we go to after that. Potentially the matchup, which I think Saracens won, so could prove a really vital situation now for Saracens if they are to get a score on the board.
Ball is all the way over the top, spoilt by Saracens, picked out by Twitchen, who comes forward. Fitzgerald is going to take them on. He dummied the kick and then he comes back inside. This might work. Down this near side foot, in touch. A large foot bone, Theo Curry, but nevertheless it's in touch. Kapuku thinks about a quick one.
Harlequins don't kick on the back foot. They really don't. In their own 22, they refuse to kick. The only points in which Harlequins have kicked today have been in attacking and front foot options. It's been fascinating to see.
They looked for Garino last time. He goes up again and then he spills it. Will Pert-Smith comes forward with the ball. The offload is good. He finds his back row partner, Matabalavu, I think, wearing 7 on his back. Quinn's pressing again. Good hands. Thomas, his jinking style, causing havoc out on that right hand wing. Ball has been spilt though. Murphy has managed to come up with it. Saracens make a few yards. Murphy goes in again.
Schmidt got over the ball superbly there.
And he's stolen it. And Humphreys, who has come close to scoring today. Twitchen still working hard. The loose head from Quinn's, wearing 1 on his back. Fitzgerald, McMillan, another man who's worked very hard. Fitzgerald for the line. That's an absolute corker.
That's a deserved try for Frank McMillan.
Has he got that? They're confused. They're going to have a little chat here. He's walloped the safety. The padding at the bottom of let's have another look at this. McMillan, he's hit the post, and in doing so, has he spilt the ball? Knock on, says the referee. He has knocked it on.
I wonder if we can see that from our position behind the posts, which could be a bit more telling.
Oh, it's the tackle.
It is. That is superb work.
Can't quite see who it is, but that's a brilliant tackle which has dislodged that ball. McMillan looked all ends up to be scoring there, and Saracens have got away with it.
I think that's Declan Murphy makes the challenge. Yeah, Murphy just comes in here, just dislodges the ball. Declan Murphy, that's superb work from the replacement scrum half.
Well, right underneath their own post, Saracens. They're going to have to go the full length of the pitch. They've got about 8 minutes left to salvage something in this game. Five tries to 3 at the moment. They have nothing out of it. And if that stays the way, well, Roberts, what happens then?
Well, Harlequins with the full 5 points, I think they would move into third on over Saracens, who would move down to 4th, meaning that Saracens would most likely play Newcastle next weekend, and Harlequins would play either Leicester or Midlands Central. So that is the conundrum that we have on our hands at the moment.
Saracens grubber it out of their own 22. Quinns will get the ball, and the referee says they held on to it illegally, unfairly. Going to take it from the right spot, and Bellamy's going to come forward and just take a little bit of air out of the game and pump it into the 22. Time is Quinn's friend at the moment. They want to use it up. Left boot to Josh Bellamy. About 6 or 7 yards out. Quinn's line-out has been on top this afternoon.
I think ever since the introduction of Theo Curry. So we got Curry and Kennedy, I think, both on the field, and they've been together in that second row partnership for the whole of this back end of this season. So they've got a really strong partnership, and I think that is proving to be the case when it comes to line out.
Daniel comes down with the ball, but
Straight.
perhaps because we were building it up the line-out, it doesn't go straight. Those are kind of the rules of commentary. Whenever you say something nice about something, it never goes well. But still,
so it's just time that's down on the clock at the end of the day. And this is no real stress or issue for Harlequins. This is Saracens' game to win, and certainly Harlequins' game to lose.
Saracens going to break from the base of this, and they'll put boot on ball and turn Quins, but Quins are happy to do this, and Bellamy is more than happy to turn and step against the tide. He brings in Humphreys. Humphreys hits the deck. Wickham, big frame of Theo Curry, man who started life at Rugby in the centre. Great pair of hands on him for a second row. Talking of great hands, there's an example of a miss-caught ball. And Danielle, who scored that try way back when, right at the start of the game. Brilliant score for Quins, and on this occasion just found wanting.
Now Sinclair's going to have to potentially pull something out the bag here. He's got Bracken on the left-hand side as well, who's offering himself as a first receiver.
We heard so much from Bracken in the first half, and he's been almost conspicuous by his absence in this second half for Saracens. Not that it's his fault. Hasn't had much of an opportunity. Ball is awkward at the back of the scrum. Referee says that Quins have been illegal at in the front row, and huge boot towards that touchline is good from Sinclair.
It's a great nudge from Sinclair. He doesn't have time to compose himself, barely looks at his target and just thumps the ball relatively aimlessly over, but thankfully he finds touch, and Saracens can nestle himself just inside this 22.
Better line out for Saracens. Now they have a bit of time in the to compose themselves. Here they come. Clinch going one way then the other. The offload is almost basketball style over the top. To the floor they go, and it's Will Pert-Smith. That's when commentary does pay dividends. We talked about his ability to jackal, and there's a really good example of it. The Trinity back rower.
He's just got such a low centre of gravity. I mean, he comes off the line of a really successful sort of jackal experts at Harlequins. You look at the players that have come through their academy: Will Evans, Jack Kenningham, Wallace, Lord A. These sort of players are known for their work over the ball, and it seems to have been passed down to Will Pert-Smith, who can just grasp onto it here. This was good work from Clinch to sort of manipulate the defence, and it's a clattering tackle there from Matabalavu, but he's just so quick over the ball.
So good.
Manages to keep his balance, which is half the job at the moment with the jackal laws as they are.
Quins have just about done enough with that line-out. They got it down, and it's into the midfield. Fitzgerald bringing in McMillan. McMillan again. McMillan half away. Scragg, coattails being grabbed by Saracens, and they snaffle the ball illegally, says the referee. Two minutes. Bellamy will thump the ball downfield into the car park. Another line-out opportunity for Quins. Better, neater, allows again this space out here. Humphreys with the dummy, opposite number is on him, knocked on.
It's great work from Clinch just to snuffle that out, but the the handling there from Harlequins at full throttle to keep the ball alive and to not break stride meant that Humphreys, once he got his hands on the ball, was really going at full pace, and no matter the challenge or hit that came in, he was always going to gain those extra 5, 6, 7 metres just from the momentum that was created by the superb handling from that Quins back line.
Toby Clinch got him in a clinch. No? Okay, I'll go in. Saracens are going to push up through the middle. Wilson, Sinclair, over the top it goes. Strong work from Bracken. Once again, good running from the fullback to make those extra couple of yards. There's Wilson again. This is more like it.
Toku's calling for it to go for the nudge, and yet they oblige.
Fitzgerald all the way back. Doesn't call for the mark, although it's in the 22. Decides to fling the ball to Bellamy. Bellamy brings it to his favoured left boot. He's going to turn Clinch. Clinch has Bracken. No, that's not Bracken, my apologies. That is Murphy, the scrum half. Clinch again. Gets the ball back.
Murphy now, as we mentioned, has gone to fullback, so Murphy is at 15 as he was versus Bristol, and Bracken's gone to the wing. Those are the rejigs that have happened within the
Saracens back on, getting hold of the ball. Tackle comes in, knock on, says the referee. Will play on. Quins get a go with this. Ball out to the right hand side, and again McMillan has open pasture in front of him. McMillan, one way then the other. The offload is ambitious, it might work. Humphreys is in. Yeah, that is a score that Tom Humphreys will celebrate. He's tried very hard down that right hand touchline, especially in the second half, to cross over.
The ambition there from Harlequins to really go for it when it didn't seem on. They didn't set up early off transition. They went wide early doors. Great handling between Bellamy and Fitzgerald here. You look at this pass on for Fitzgerald. It invites him onto the ball, which means that the handling just comes relatively naturally. McMillan, great speed to get himself directly into the 22. A little bit of a fluke here for Humphreys to manage to get his hands on it, but he's always going to have the gas to steer past Bowser. Deserved try for Humphreys, that's for sure.
And we can comfortably say that is the game. That is the points in the bag. And for Saracens, it means that they may well, unless there's any time left in this game, be leaving empty-handed. Bellamy will take probably the full allotted time over this kick. And there isn't any more time. That is it. In the end, a comprehensive victory for Harlequins. Saracens will be frustrated, certainly not to build on their second or on their first half display, and they were really sort of put to the sword in the second half by Harlequins under 18. In the end, a consummate victory for them. Really strong stuff down here at Cobham. Both teams will head towards the final four, but not potentially in the places that we had right at the start of the game. Final score down here in Surrey: Harlequins under 18s 36, Saracens under 18s 17. And what's overall, both sides will head into finals weekend next Sunday in that top four spot, but Harlequins will probably go in with a little bit more of a bounce in their step.
I think this game really lived up to its expectations, especially in that first half. We saw a really tight affair, the forward domination potentially in favour of Saracens, which meant that they had that little bit more momentum. But I think as soon as Bellamy was able to shift into that 15 role, Fitzgerald came into 10. It just meant that he could unlock his space that little bit better. and 3 tries in quick succession at the end of the game, 21 points. You take those away from that 36-point scoreline, and you've got a much tighter picture. So I think that scoreline doesn't necessarily do the hard work of Saracens justice. But either way, it's the clinical behaviour of Harlequins in that final 10-15 minutes to see out the game, which, well, at the end proved very vital. It could prove extremely vital when it comes down to scorings and rankings as we head into the finals weekend.
Yeah, certain people that stood out for you. I thought Frank McMillan had a really good game.
I'd agree. I think McMillan at 13 was running some superb lines. I thought that it was that back row, Ronan Daniel, Matapalavu and Lucas Schmid all combined as a back row showed real balance and probably changed the momentum of the game, and I think they're definitely they're up there for Harlequins in terms of star players.
Thank you, Will Roberts, the man behind Young Rugby, alongside me this afternoon. It's been brilliant to have you with us. Such insight, fantastic game of rugby. But it is Harlequins who win it here down in Cobham. Final score: Harlequins 36, Saracens 17.